Hello guys. So today I thought I'm gonna have a little bit of a talk to you, and yeah, before that I wanted to have a piece of copper in my sock. That's amazing. But yeah, I just wanted to say what I want to do in terms of my jewelry, in the future. First of all, I started making jewelry not too long ago. Before that, last year, I made some metal clay jewelry. Well, I tried with working with silver clay and bronze clay. It is not really my thing, to be honest, with working with clay. I would try out epoxy, like resin, wasn't really my thing either. I like metal sheets and then cutting them, forming them, and now I actually found something new, a new way of working with it. Actually, I don't even need fire or like a torch. I only needed to solder that thing. I'm gonna put the word so that you can put it on a necklace. That's really the only thing I have to be using a torch, and everything else I will just do like with mechanical work, such as hammering something in or using chemical things, different solutions, powders to create a look, a color actually. I'm gonna put a picture of a book that I am currently reading of how that can look if succeeded. I already was oxidizing my copper, which was super cool because it looked so ancient, like old, and also like a little bit like silver. And you can experiment with the time you let it in. So you can use vinegar, acid, salt. I will put the word again. Yeah, I think that will be so cool for the future to experiment with that. But like the main idea, so what's the main idea? Like a few days ago, it was a little while ago, I was standing by the window looking outside, and then I had this like vision making animals pendants, like a series of animals, but like I had the idea of everyone of us has like either an favorite animal or like an animal that is talking to you, you just like it because something in it gives you kind of a power, feeling of a power of or peace, so like a spirit animal, and like making that series of animal pendings because I think that's so cool. Now I'm going to show you my own example that I made for myself. I actually, funny because I never wear jewelry. I just don't like it so much, but this one kind of spoke to me. I had this idea and I had to do it. So that's out of silver, and it is supposed to be an ice bear, but it looks more like a grizzly, I think, but that doesn't matter. I think I'm just gonna put it around my neck so you can see what I'm talking about. I had that idea. I would do a few pendants, starting with little ones out of silver, like a dolphin or a bear. And then I thought, well, it's kind of boring, always the same little things, pieces. And also silver is very expensive. I mean, it's not very cheap. And especially for someone who's beginning, of course, I can't afford to buy a silver sheet each 2 weeks or something. So I was looking for another option, and then I found copper, and I really like it, I have to say. I also will try another metal. In Germany it's called messing, because I saw that you can create again very cool patina effects with it. Wow, so cool. I can't tell you how cool I think that is. It's like making me very happy to think about that. So yeah, but back to the animals idea. So a quick background story. When I was a kid, sometimes I would have fever, like a very high fever, like to temperature of 40, 41, where I would start seeing things like, when your brain just goes bananas like crazy, and you would, the room will shift, you know, um, and you will just lose the feeling of of control, or like where the wall begins or where it ends, like everything kind of shifting. For some people that's normal. When they have high fever, they see stuff like that. And I remember, I would be seeing in white ice bear. I mean, of course it's white, but like very shiny, ice bear from that corner of the room. Like, it was like that. I was laying in the bed, and there an ice bear would just run towards me, and it was so crazy, like, it was, when I really, I think, faded, like my spirit faded, or my powers or whatsoever. Though I love ice bear, is my absolute favorite animal, it was a bit frightening because I had the feeling that he would like, uh, come and wanna get me. He wanted to get me, like to take me with him. When I was working last year, I would talk to a coworker, and we would, have that conversation about high fever and stuff and what happens. And she would tell me that when she had that high fever, she would see a white horse running again from far away towards her. It wasn't a big deal for her, but I thought, like, how cool is that? And I really want to know, guys, did you experience like the same? Had you, when you had high fever, or maybe, I don't know, some kind of event in your life where you would see the same thing? Would you see that too, like a white animal appearing? Because I think that's so interesting. It's almost like a spirit animal or something that gives you the power, and then comes in the situation where your power, your strength fades. You know what I mean? Um, I don't know. I just really like the idea of that, and, the idea of having your spirit animal that you're kind of connected to, that you feel like is giving you some power in a way, or some hope or peace, or whatever it is, that it makes you feel like, and then you have that with you. So I made a few animals, like a turtle, some bears, some dolphin. I made a dragon, of course. It was for a birthday gift from my mom, and I made, a crocodile. So I don't know, guys. A kangaroo. Some things I just forgot this now. So I could imagine someone telling me, "Hey, can you do like a snake for me? Because I didn't do a snake yet." And I would be like, "Yeah." And maybe even, like mixing it together with a favorite color. Um, you know, if I am able to create that color, that the patina on top, that would be really cool. And then I can do like a green bird, or like a yellow snake for someone who likes that. Yeah, that's my, little idea, me sharing my thoughts. So I would be very interesting to know, what is your favorite animal? So if someone is watching this, please just leave a comment with your favorite animal. It would be actually very interesting to know. I'm still very nervous in front of the camera, and sometimes I'm wondering, like, what are you doing? Are you really want to upload that? You really want to say that to everyone? Has everyone has access to that? You want to share that things, really? And then I just put these thoughts aside, or try to do that. And I wish you everything well. Until next time, goodbye. Goodbye. A little bit of a talk to you. Oh my god. Um, I have something in my eyes. I think I'm gonna cry. Okay.